they servants too?
No.
How do you know they're not servants? How do you know that the two guys, you said the two people on the outside are servants. How come the two people in the middle aren't servants, May?
Because they're not holding umbrellas.
They're not holding an umbrella, okay? What else can we say? Ashton Wiggins. They're dancing. How are they dressed? Are they dressed the same?
No.
How are they? What's different about their dress, Amontillado?
Because the girl that's in the middle, she has a dress, and the girl that's in the outside, she has like
She has an apron on. But the people in the middle, would you say they're probably wealthy or a little well off? Are they? And they're dancing, and you have these two people on the outside that are holding up these umbrellas that are covering up these guys. So if I was going to infer, if I was going to make an inference about these two guys in the middle, he said they're royal. What do you say, Violet? I would say that these guys are probably their servants. These guys are well off. They're dancing in the rain. And these servants are out here keeping them from getting wet, right? When you are making inferences, what are you doing? Yes.
about what you already know.
Okay. She said you're using that information you already know. Anything else? What else are we doing? Do you know? What else are we doing?
We're doing like something that is making something is like they are special and those two are not. So those two make.
It has nothing. What else are we doing when we make inferences? What else could we be doing? I don't know. Violet. She said we're gonna. Anya said using information that we already know, using those clues. Yes. What else, Maya? You're putting all those pieces together, but what are the other pieces? Using information that you know. What? Ashton. Your background knowledge, using what you know. You're going to use like your pictures and that are in the text. Remember we talked about, look, right here. You're going to make inferences when you use information from the text, plus your prior knowledge to make a personal meaning from something that you read. Right? And then that's what when you guys were doing this, that's what you was doing. You were making inferences. I didn't tell you anything. I gave you just those clues, and you were able to say, oh, I know what we're talking about. Because based off of the information that I already know, I know an animal that could be brown, black, polar, or panda. I already know that could be a bear. Based off of what I read, and based off of what I already know. All right? So when you're reading and thinking about what's going on in your text, you have to ask questions before and during your reading. You need to make connections to what you know, what's happening in the world around you, or your own personal experience. We talked about predictions already, right? Predict. So you're going to use clues in the text to infer what is happening or what will happen. Visualize. You guys are your own movie producers. Make a small movie in your head about what you're reading so you can actually see it. Bring it to life. We talked about inferences again. So that's your BK is your background knowledge and your text clues. Summarize. What does it mean to summarize again? May?
To write down what you read.
You're writing down what you read, but am I going to write everything down?
No. You're only going to write a sentence about what you read already in the text.
Not just a sentence. That was that whole who, what, when, why, somebody. What am I writing, Cheyenne?
You're writing a prediction.
You're you're gonna write only the key information, only that most important stuff, not the whole thing. Just the key ideas, the most important things that I need to know. That is what you're going to do. And then you can synthesize it, which is giving it a new meaning. Sometimes you might read something, it's real big and choppy, and you're like, what is this saying? Make it so you can understand what you read. All right? And after you do all of that, you will be able to. Look at her. When you're asking your questions, we've read our story, now it's test time, NWEA time. Read the entire question, the whole question. A lot of you do this all the time. You're like, Miss Scott, I don't understand what this is saying. Did you read the question? No. Well, of course you don't understand. You got to read the information. Read the entire question. If it helps you, underline the important words and phrases that are in that question. Okay? The important stuff. We do that when we do our cubes, don't we?
Yeah.
We read it, and then we underline the question so you know what you're looking for. And then after you underline it, just like in cubes, what's the next step?
Answer the question.
Answer the question. Answer the question. I was grading your Greek myths unit test and said, write 5 sentences about your favorite Greek myth. Each sentence is worth 1 point each. None of you got 5 points. Do you know why? Well, you didn't read the entire question. A lot of you read, what's your favorite Greek myth? And you just start writing. If I was going to underline the important words, I would have underlined 5 questions, 1 point each. That way I make sure I get everything when I'm answering my questions. Okay? Because some of you got like 3 points, 2 points, because you didn't write 5 sentences. And then when you're writing, what information are we going to include in our answer? When we're writing about a story, what information are we going to include in our answer? Anya?
The who, what, when, where, and the why.
If it says answer the question about your favorite Greek myth, am I answering the question if I say, I did not have a favorite story? Is that answering the question? No. Why is that not answering the question? Oh, well, complete sentences are very important. So, yeah, we need to make sure it's in a complete sentence. But if I wrote, and I'm asking this question because I had quite a few of you say, I didn't have a favorite, and you didn't get your points. Why didn't you get your points? Sanaya?
Because that is not a myth or anything about it.
It is not a myth or anything. It says, I didn't answer the question, did it? Did the question say, hey, if you have a favorite, write about it? Is that what it said? No. We had like 10 Greek myths that we were reading. It said pick your favorite. If you didn't like any of them, you're going to write the one that you like the most out of all the ones you didn't like. Answer the question. Get your points. Write in complete sentences. All right? So when you're answering your questions, make sure you
Hit the quad.
All right. Get out your guided reading book.